Wildfire season is a growing threat across the United States with millions of homes at risk. Saturday, May 3rd is Wildfire Community Preparedness Day. Joining us is Michelle Steinberg from the National Fire Protection Association to share how we can better protect our homes this wildfire season. Thank you so much for being here, Michelle.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about Wildfire Community Preparedness Day and why it's important to prepare homes well in advance of wildfires.
Right. So Wildfire Community Preparedness Day is something we sponsor on the first Saturday in May every year. And it is that rallying point to help people ahead of fires get educated, learn what they can do, and then join with their families and neighbors to do projects that really do bend down the risk of home ignition and neighborhood destruction. So it's a very exciting time, and we find that people really get a huge lift out of doing these things together.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hear a lot about defensible space. What practical steps can Idaho homeowners take right now to reduce wildfire risk around their homes?
Right. So often we hear about that, of clearing vegetation and so forth. Some of what we want to refine for people and make it maybe a little more easy to manage and understand is really starting to work on their home and then moving out into the landscape. That will really give you the best bang for your buck, and it's very effective when it comes to wildfire, because most of what we think about is the big flames, but the real culprits to these kinds of wildfire disasters are the embers. They blow in little burning pieces of material that come off the main fire and can land in your gutters, on your roof, on your deck, on your patio, surrounding your home. Any areas that you see pine needles or leaves collecting typically is where the embers are going to go. So cleaning out those areas is really critical, and that feeds into your defensible space, meaning that area starting outside your home and working your way out into the yard to minimize the fuels for fire and break up the pathways. So for example, maybe you create a little bit of a gravel walkway that would break up dry grasses and things like that. That's all of a piece to getting prepared and doing what we call defensible space work.
Now, what exactly is the home ignition zone, and why is it so crucial when it comes to protecting property?
Right, and that's often what I use instead of saying defensible space, because that puts people in mind that someone's going to be there to defend the home, which in fact in a big wildfire, often firefighters can't be at every home. So looking at the home ignition zone, it's a way to think about protecting our homes. That means it's the home itself and everything around it out to 100 feet. This is where research has shown we can have the most impact. So if we do those projects, starting with our roof and working our way down and then out into the landscape, we're going to have a much better chance of keeping fires small that might ignite on our property and prevent them from spreading to our structures. If our home doesn't burn, then it can't burn the neighboring home. So stopping that ignition in its tracks is what the home ignition zone is all about.
Yeah, really good point. So we saw homes in Southern California that survived recent wildfires while others didn't. What made the difference there?
Right. I did have the privilege to go with firefighters 3 weeks after those fires started in LA and look at the areas. Of course, a lot of devastation, but the hopeful signs were there because people had taken the advice from the firefighters. These homeowners had changed out materials like their landscaping, their immediate home surroundings. They had screened vents, really simple projects, and done bigger projects like maybe changing out a wood deck to something else that won't burn. Very many things that they had done over several years that meant the difference. And even in some cases, the only home to survive on a cul-de-sac when the other homes had burned. And what we'd love to see is those homes surviving not being rare, being common, being something that we all kind of embrace, so that homes burning are rare, homes surviving is the norm.
Absolutely. So where can people find resources? Where can they learn more about getting prepared before fire season starts?
We would love it if people would go to wildfireprepday.org. That's NFPA's area for coming up on Wildfire Community Preparedness Day. But any time of year, if people want to learn what they can do, get a checklist, get some materials to help share with their neighbors, and do these kinds of projects, that is where they should start.
Yes, absolutely. Great advice. Thank you so much, Michelle.
My pleasure.